live on Instagram now.
All right. As soon as it lets me. It's always delayed.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Fair.
Almost there. All right.
There we go. And we got folks online. Hey, guys.
Instagram, too. How's it going?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Got Silver Scale Exotics. Okay, I'm going to be peeking. We have multiple people in here, so I'm going to be like peeking over the thing here. Hi, I'm still here.
Can you shift
hey, Black
this
Rock
over
Balls.
to the right side?
I might be able to, but I haven't actually played with it, and I'm scared. So,
No.
but that's fine. What could possibly go wrong? There's VA Morphs. Hey. And Soda Balls. Good to see you guys. Third Coast Constrictors. Hey.
And we got several popping in on Instagram, too.
Yeah. Sweet Slithering Delights. Your sheds just arrived. Oh, like, did you send them? Your sheds just arrived today. So, like, did they just get to our site in Texas, or did you just get them?
If they said just arrived, they probably got a message saying received.
Oh, got you.
So
Fair
if they received, most likely they'll get results tomorrow.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah, anyone else coming in here, if you have results you think that we might already have, let us know and we can do them live on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And we've got Tommy of Inky Cloud. Oh, look, I'm putting the wrong way. I'm not even going to try. We have Tommy of Inky Clouds. And we have Courtney of Leviathan. Pointed this way. It's mirrored, so my life is hard. Yeah. And I'm also, and because of the way I have my computer set up, I'm actually looking at my other monitor to look at you guys. But yeah,
my camera over here, and then my laptop's down here, so it looks like I'm.
When I remember, what I try to do is point up, and then I can just like,
yeah.
know which way to go.
When enough. I remember, most of the time I just point the wrong way, but
yeah, exactly. You know, what could possibly go wrong? Hopefully tomorrow, really hoping on Het Pied. Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope you get it. Pure Python Passion. Hello. We do them live on the show. Do we get better results statistically? That is. I think it's been. Yeah, definitely.
We'll just say yes.
I will say,
Joshua, you've gotten bad enough luck lately that I think I can give you a like almost certain guarantee.
There you go.
Not 100%, but almost certain guarantee we'll do better live.
Yeah.
We've noticed if we're recording ourselves finding out the results, it's not going to go so well. But if it just
really
email, then it seems to do great.
There you go.
I was getting nervous to open the emails. It's like almost like opening a bill I don't want, but I'm going to get something good in the mail. I'm always nervous.
It's like your college acceptance letter. Like, did I get in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any updates on bull snakes?
What's that?
It says any updates on bull snakes.
Bull snakes, not yet. Who sent that? Was that
Panda Palace?
Panda Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
No bull snake stuff yet. We did get a whole bunch from Summer Snakes. So she
yes,
daughter of Dan and Colette Sutherland, or TSK, the snake keeper. And she's doing a ton of bull snake work. So yes, we've got several sheds, but if you have bull snake sheds, send them in. We can use them. We'll be working on other colubrid stuff like over the next 6 months. So
yeah. All right. And yeah, Black Rock Balls. Yeah, he was John was one that we did do live results for, and it was just like negative on the ODs and YBs he was looking for, just like almost all the way down. It was rough, man. I'm so sorry. But now you know, instead of breeding it out later and finding out. So it's still a good thing.
So John is one that I can say the next time we do live results, it will be better, most likely.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't be worse.
Yeah. And Jason Brown's asking about rosy boas.
I have a few rosy boa sheds, not very many. Probably the only thing I have enough sheds for right now would be to work on sex determination. So if you're looking for morphs for rosies, we need a lot more sheds. If you're looking for sex determination, that's another thing we're working on over these next few months. So we'll see what we can do there.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Will's hella heat. What ball python genes or tests are being worked on but aren't ready yet? Which is a lot that you haven't heard about. I don't know, Ben. What you working on?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 25 of them that I'll be getting data on, so it's a big list. Yeah. So like the list that Kayla pops up when we're doing the recorded shows of our wanted sheds, I don't know how easy that is to put up, but pretty much
pulling it up.
Pretty much all of those are ones we're working on, and most of those I would say I'm getting data for. And then, you know, the ones that you've known about forever, like monsoon and paint.
You don't have that yet?
I wish.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost
past Kayla.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. And past Kayla removed it from the slides, apparently, because we updated it. But it's part of our normal rotation. So you'll see it on our social media for sure. But if you do want to send things, we do have this. I've got this ready to roll whenever. So you don't need to send a whole shed. Just dry out the full thing, get a nice little piece, and you can send in this info. Either take a screenshot here, or I've got a link. That way, if you want to submit research sheds or any sheds that we sheds for mutations or species we don't currently offer tests for yet, you could do it this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in between, we have comments and questions. I wanted to, just for the few people, maybe there are some people watching this that haven't met Tommy and Courtney before. Just Tommy, maybe you go first. Tell us a little bit about you, and then Courtney.
Hi, I'm Tommy. I have Inky clouds. I'm breeding ball pythons now. Yes. No, not my face. Ben, put Bill in.
There you go. We'll do it like this.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I get confused when I see my own face.
That's fair.
So I've been breeding, I think, ball pythons for like 4 or 5 years now, focusing on pattern disruption and dark genes, along with monarch. And I've been keeping reptiles since I was 2, and like by myself for about 30 years. So all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. And you just did well, okay, do we want to talk about the morph map stuff?
We'll talk about that. Talking about pattern disruption, Tommy just did a video on Cryptic, so we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But Courtney, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm Courtney. We do mostly ball pythons. We have a couple other species that we keep, but nothing that we breed yet. Steven, my husband, does a lot with it. He's the one who's usually on social media. So he's, if you don't know me, it's because you know him. Or neither of us, I guess. I didn't mean that to sound like there.
It's okay.
Yeah, so he likes sunset. That's his big thing. He's all about the sunset. So he gets really excited about new stuff in the Sunset Project. And then I like pretty animals. So if it's pretty, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I understand the sunset thing. So we've been doing some work on like getting our website ready and having like really nice pictures of each mutation that we test for, like sunset. And I was I was referring to Morphpedia a little bit to make sure, I had my ducks in a row there on like dates, etc. And as I was doing that, I saw like this insane like Enchi cinnamon sunset combo that like looked like it was on fire. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I understand now.
Well, sometimes like people will talk to me, and I have a hard time picturing in my head what something might look like. So they'll like list off these genes to me and be like, isn't that incredible? And I'm like, you just said words. I'm so sorry. I need you to show me a picture. But and then I see the picture, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah. But I feel like because so many people have been moving to like the triple and quad and whatever, like all of the recessives, that right now we've been seeing more and more like hets. So we aren't seeing these like really beautiful like single visuals, like really beautiful clowns, like 5 incomplete dominant and then a clown on top of it. You don't see that as much anymore because it's all like double and triple recessive. So while they might not be like the most lucrative to like breed towards, I still like little like just pretty.
Yeah, of course.
Oh no, did I cut out?
It
You cut out
just
a little bit, but
tiny
it's fine.
Yeah.
We're able to figure it out.
Oh no.
Oh, it's okay.
You're
Yeah.
fine.
Actually, I think you guys talk
Sorry.
about it a
My-
little. You're okay.
And Balls of Fury. Oh, now I think I
Can you
cut
see
out.
me?
Y'all
Everybody freeze. Yeah, I hear you.
there?
But at the same time.
Courtney's gone. Oh, Courtney moved again.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I can hear you guys now. I'm so
Balls of
sorry.
Fury is on Instagram. He says, "What's up, Tommy and Courtney?" So
Hey,
Hi, Balls of
hey.
Fury.
unfortunately,
I
I'm
got
the
it.
only one that can see the YouTube or the Instagram comments. So I'll
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
much better to go over to YouTube for the time being so we could have everybody in one place so we could see all the comments for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kayla keeps sending a suggestion to StreamYard to integrate, since we can
Yes,
stream.
please.
Why would they not integrate the comments? And it
Right.
is integrated with Facebook, but not with Instagram. That's the same company.
Mhm.
Come on, people.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's the same company. It doesn't even make
Yeah.
sense.
This
Get
is
it.
why we can't have nice things.
Courtney,
So,
you were saying you like incomplete dominance. Do you have a special like combo that you like the best, or like one specific gene that you tend to gravitate towards?
So not one together, but I really like super asphalt stuff, and then I really like what they call like fire. So like cinnamon and cheek calico. I love that combination, and I love
Yes, that's a great
Yeah.
that's a great combo. I
So
agree.
like
I agree.
yeah, people will be like, why is this really, really gorgeous snake on your table? Like $300, and then the one that looks like a normal is 8,000. Like, what's going on here?
yeah, it
I think
happens.
that's a lot of people's questions. If you haven't been in for a while, it makes sense
Yeah.
because the
Yeah, of
things
course.
that are more beautiful, we've been that don't have all the recessive, we've been working on longer, so we know more what we're doing there. I feel like.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Soda Balls actually mentioned when you mentioned Calico as part of that combo. Is Calico going to be part of that data dump, Ben? Are you expecting that?
Yep. Yeah, we'll get some more data for Calico. I don't know for sure if it'll be enough, but yeah, I have more information coming for Calico.
Fingers crossed.
Nice.
Because I like some Calicos too.
And I am starting to get a few more sugar samples sent in labeled as sugars. So we'll see if they'll separate out the same as the Calicos, or if it looks like they're different. We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of separating things out, Will's Hella Heat is also asking about puzzle testing, and if I think we talked about like puzzle and cryptic and things being kind of weird there. Do you want to maybe like touch on that?
The only thing that I have seen so far was Justin Kabelka's clutch, where he bred a puzzle to a cryptic, and all of the babies looked like cryptics or kryptons. And we did the genetic testing, and they were just het for cryptic and het for puzzle. So the genetics there were definitely not homozygous for puzzle or for cryptic, but they all looked like cryptics. So that's really the only information I have. The testing, the pictures that Justin had and the testing that we did, and there's something funky going on there. They definitely, as far as what we can see, and other researchers in Europe and Canada, from what we can see, they're on different chromosomes. And then also we can test and see like a clown het puzzle or puzzle het clown. And we've had some pop positive for homozygous for both. So it doesn't seem that clown cryptic is allelic with puzzle, but even though they're not allelic, they're in different places, they do seem to interact. So it's kind of like fur color in Labradors. So like the yellow labs, black labs, chocolate labs, there's two different genes in different places in the genome. So they're not allelic, but they do interact. And so getting black versus yellow versus brown is the interaction of two different genes that are not allelic at all. So it seems like something like that's going on with puzzle and then clown/cryptic.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently, oh yeah, you reading the
I can't read it. It's too small.
Oh, no. He said, I know they're different. I just know that Ozzy and others used to say that Weirdo Puzzle were also cryptic, and just curious if they were both, or just really nice puzzles. It's hard to say without seeing those animals, I guess.
Yeah.
You'd have to have sheds from them.
Yeah. I've only had like a couple labeled as weirdo. Definitely nowhere near enough for me to be able to tell really anything about it. So if people have weirdos, for sure send them in. Same with daddy. People ask questions about daddy and whether it's similar to this or that. I just don't have very many daddy sheds, so send them if you got them.
Yeah,
send in your daddies.
We'll check out your daddy.
Oh dear.
Speaking of cryptics, actually, so we mentioned earlier with Tommy, you did a morph map episode with the Herp Collectors Network about cryptic ball pythons, and I was able to watch. Okay, firstly, I love your intro. Like, who did all that? That's adorable.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Mike did all of that.
That's great. He did a good job.
Yeah.
And I was able to watch most of the episode this morning, actually.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
So you guys were talking about like what were some of the highlights that you thought were interesting from it, I guess?
For me, I think that I mean, some of the takeaways I think were definitely, like how some of the combos look in ways that you might want to work towards for those specific genes, and things that you might want to work away from that might actually not show up as well, or actually kind of kill the expression of other genes, such as Inky, because then you're kind of double banding and it takes away a lot of the other things. There's definitely a lot to be done. And that was very obvious too when I was looking for combos to use for examples. I wasn't able to find a lot, especially if you're staying towards the pure cryptic side, which like myself and Pip Stalkers are both staying on the pure cryptic side, or at least trying to. I mean, I sadly had a pure cryptic recently test as a Krypton that I bought as pure cryptic, which made me want to cry. But
no.
Yeah, I found something to do with her. It's fine. But there's just not a lot done with it yet, and I'm excited to see where it goes for sure, especially as we see more actual incomplete dominance put into it, and not just color changing. Yeah, but it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time. We had a lot of one stuff.
One of the things I like that you guys brought up on that is terminology, whether you would call something a quad het or a Krypton double het. I fully endorse, please call it a Krypton double het. Calling it a quad het definitely makes it harder for other people. And it just doesn't make sense. If you say something's a quad het, to me, that means you could potentially make a quad visual. But do that with what it's a cryptic that's double het for a couple other things. I like that you guys talked about that and agreed with that. That's a better way to do it.
Sure. I definitely think that's a better way to do it. And another thing we discussed was some people label their animals that come from a Krypton as het Krypton, which isn't true, because they're either a het clown or het cryptic, and that's really all there is to that. So there's definitely still some confusion, I think, in general about the Krypton side, but I'm staying in my cryptic lane. There's not a lot of confusion there. It's either het cryptic or not.
Yeah. And then one other thing, when you all were talking about animals that look like cryptics but don't actually test cryptic, I remember the one that I think you were talking about on the show where you had tested and it tested negative. I think I sent you a picture of the same animal, but Kayla, if you want to bring up that IG video. So this is one that I hatched out, and the female that he came from, she was sold to me as an Enchi. Definitely not an Enchi. And like the eye stripe isn't quite, super thick like a cryptic or a puzzle, but like just what it did to that pattern. I bred it to be I hatched this out before testing was available.
But did that have orange stream in it though?
Yeah.
So see, my girl that I got tested, I got a complete panel on her because sometimes your orange dream and your orange dream leopard or your orange dream inchies can end up looking kind of like this, or even like we were I think you and I talked about also the possibility of like the old jungle gene that was like kind of still floats through things. My girl she tested negative for orange dream, negative for inchy, negative for everything other than pied.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm confused. And also, Pip Stalkers had the same thing, but it wasn't a pied animal test, not cryptic, that had a very cryptic look.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, it can definitely happen. And I kept a male. Actually, I think it was this male, and I bred him back to the mom, and I made like super form, and it was super reduced, really crazy looking. And it was female. I never did test it to see if it was partho. It could have also, it was either from this male back to his mom, or the mom did a partho and made just this crazy looking animal, but it just thrive. It never ate well, or
yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, the mom was kind of like that too. She wasn't ever a great feeder for me. So for me, I stopped working this line. Whatever it is, it's kind of cryptic-y, weird pattern. And I have animals that I've hatched out that aren't pied at all, but they are kind of cryptic or puzzle looking. But it has to be a thing. It tests negative for them now that I can test. And when I bred this guy to a clown, I didn't get anything, Krypton looking or anything. So
yeah. I paired my that same girl to a het clown, not a clown this year, because I don't want everything to be het clown because I don't work clown, but just to see if anything happened. So we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's always a fun time when you don't know what you're working with. Now that we have the option, it's like we're all like, oh well, I don't even know what it is. But I mean, that used to be what it was all the time just a couple of years ago. And we're like, I can't test it. I don't know what it is. So hold on one second. My dog's being obnoxious because she's old and she's separated from me.
No worries.
Sweetie. For the time being.
Yeah, that's okay.
My dog was a minute ago. If you want to get the screenshot, Kayla, for the short that Courtney did.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to kind of talk about that too while we're kind of in between comments and questions.
There we go.
The other one.
Oh, the other screenshot. I think that was the other screenshot that I wasn't able to get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was called?
If you just go to their IG, it'll be there. I think the first short. Unless Courtney put up. Did you put up another one today?
I did yesterday afternoon. I did one about shipping, one about is that the one?
The shipping was the one that I was thinking of. But...
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I've done a couple recently that are kind of the same style. We're trying to do a little more regular on social media, and we're trying to appeal to an audience outside of just breeders, so maybe a little more informative to people who have never had an animal shipped before or have never had to deal with some of these things. So that's the one that we did. And boy, doing an unbiased shipping video these days.
Yeah,
I'm still getting comments like it was sponsored.
Oh no.
On YouTube. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah. But so we shipped out 3 snakes yesterday, or not yesterday, Monday, and they all arrived safely yesterday. And so I waited until they were all at home before I shipped them out, or before I posted it. But yeah.
I like the purple paper. That's some nice branding.
Somebody had suggested it one day. They were like, I think it was someone in our Patreon maybe had said, oh, you guys should use like purple tissue paper. And we were like, why didn't we think of that? Yeah. So we immediately switched over.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you go to the other screenshot, Kayla, talking about the shipping drama, that was in the other video that Kayla has a screenshot for.
Yeah.
You guys
so not this one. Okay, I don't have that one either.
That's the one. That's the one. Right?
It is the one. Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yay.
So yeah, Stephen, I thought made some good points there about the shipping drama, and did a good job of staying as neutral as possible. But the point he made was Morph Market entering that space and decreasing the prices down to where sometimes it's only like $20 or $30 for shipping. Did put pressure on the other shipping companies, and overall prices are different enough now that I saw it myself this week. someone was joking about, they took a screenshot about an auction that was going, and then the shipping was like, you know, $80 or whatever. They're like, oh, I'm not going to bid on this because I know that shipping is ridiculous.
And I think that there are people, and now this is just whatever. I think there are people who they do auctions and they kind of rely on that shipping price to make a little more on the auction because they know it's not going to actually ship for that amount. And now that there is a cheaper shipping option, I feel like less people are going to be likely to like pay, like customers are going to be less likely to pay those really high shipping costs because they know it can be cheaper. So yeah, it is. There's a lot going on with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like
some of the other fads you talked about in this video, I thought it was pretty good, pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Especially the shed test, right? That was fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, when I clicked on it, I didn't expect to hear about shed testing, but yeah, that was excellent. We love hearing that, and that was a topic that came up quite a bit in the Cryptic show too.
Yeah, I was going to say we talked a lot about shed testing in the Cryptic show for sure.
Yeah, it makes such a huge difference. And I think like at first, because, you know, there's always like a little bit of conspiracy and controversy when something new happens. We heard all kinds of things about like what you guys were going to do with those sheds. And I think that's kind of petered out now. And I'm glad because some of it was
evil plans.
They're in my snake room in a box, sitting there menacingly.
Yeah, my favorite one that I heard was we were, you know, working with only, you know, one or two big breeders and doing CRISPR edits for them from what we learned from people's sheds or whatever.
You're telling
me.
That's hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that kinds of stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Wow, that'd be a lot. Yeah,
right. It'd be cool if we could do CRISPR editing, but you know,
if we could sell. If we could sell ball pythons for, you know, what a couple of them went for out of Africa back in the day, you know, 100, 150 grand, 200 grand for a single animal, then it'd be worth doing CRISPR edits. But yeah, not so much.
I'm Googling what are CRISPR edits.
Yeah. Hi, Xander. Good to see you, man.
But yeah. The other thing I just wanted to say, just the production quality that you all are getting to with your videos is amazing.
I look at it and I feel like, granted, I know Steven has been doing editing for a long time, but I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, man, I feel so inferior.
Just go back. No, because I'm going to send you a link to some of our first videos when the editing was like hard cuts. He has come so far in the last couple of years, and there was like a good period of time where I just didn't watch the YouTube videos. So he like had huge like growth in this maybe 6-month period where I watched one of his. Thank you, Stephen. I did Google it, by the way. There was like a big period of time where I didn't watch his videos, and he grew so much in the meantime that when I started like getting a chance to watch them again, or like actually watch them and not just listen to them, I was like, dang, you did that. You've been doing like that this whole time. I was like legit impressed because he would show me like, hey, I made this animation, and I'd come over and look at it and I'd be like, I don't like it. Gross. Do something else. and then he'd do it differently, and it would, and yeah. So I don't give him enough credit he deserves.
He does very good work.
Tommy, I had to Google what CRISPR editing was because I didn't know what
that was. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so that's part of what I did in my full-time job. I was making CRISPR edits in pigs to make their immune system more similar to the human. And then I designed the tests that would go in to make sure the CRISPR edits did what we wanted them to. And then if they did, then some of the work that I did, I had to send my notebook pages into the FDA so that they could use a pig heart to transplant into a human. And now they've done that a few times. We actually, that same business I was a part of, they were just, again, they had a pig heart in for, I think it was like 3 or 4 months before it started. Or no, I think that one was a kidney.
I saw that on House, so.
Yeah.
That's Revicor, right?
Yes, yeah. And Tommy
they send food to us people that have alpha gal so we can actually eat more.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had
Gotten
alpha gal.
some? Tommy,
Hmm?
have you gotten some?
No, I haven't. They had a list, and like when they had the list, when they were still giving it away for free, I was still way too scared to even try anything.
I don't blame
And now they're
Yeah.
selling it through Amaru Hills, which is
Yep.
a farm that does
Emu.
ostrich and emu, and which is a big thing for people with alpha gal because it has the
Makes
iron
sense.
and everything like that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about doing that. So for those of you that are wondering what we're talking about, so if you've heard of people getting a meat allergy, especially if it's specifically from a tick, so that's something called alpha gal syndrome, and you can get it just from a tick bite. It's most common on the East Coast. There's a lot of instances, relative. Obviously, it's not like an epidemic or pandemic taking over the world, but as far as the numbers, the biggest numbers are kind of like North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, and it's slowly kind of moving out, and there's more people affected. When I was part of that business and we were talking about it, there's a lot of doctors that had never heard of it, but now it's becoming a lot more commonplace. My brother, who is doing his internship, so he just got his MD and now he's an intern. Is that I might be saying the wrong thing, but anyway, he just got his MD and now he's doing something else. He's in Arizona, but they did have it like a half hour, 45-minute presentation specifically about alpha gal. So there's more of the medical field learning, but the other part that's kind of difficult, and I don't know if I've even asked you this, Tommy, but the difficult part of connecting the dots is you can be exposed to it and not have any reaction for like hours and hours, and sometimes even like a full day. And so people have a hard time realizing, oh, it's the meat that I ate that's making me sick. And it's really interesting.
Yeah. It can be, it's a delayed reaction because we have to metabolize the and like digest it in order for the alpha gal to come in contact with our receptors before it actually affects us. So
Wow.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, not fun
But
at all.
No.
Some people even like probably the saddest story that I heard, there is a guy, like his whole life, his goal was to open a barbecue restaurant.
No.
That was his whole thing. And he, did what he needed to do. And he had a successful barbecue restaurant. And then he got alpha gal, and he was so sensitive that even the fumes make him react. So he literally
I'm fume sensitive too.
Yeah, he cannot even go near a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Poor
I can't go shopping. I can't go shopping if restaurants are open that cook meat because they blow all that stuff out of the restaurants, and like the fumes will actually make me like pass out.
I never
Passed
considered
out,
that.
Pat. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, don't want to hijack this with my crap.
Oh no, you're fine.
The reason why Revivicor can give meat, so they're FDA approved to produce pigs that have had a genetic edit to the alpha gal protein, or the alpha gal sequence that makes the alpha gal protein that goes on the cell surface that then makes people like Tommy sick. So Revivicor went in and knocked that out. They did it specifically to make it so we could do pig transplants of organs to humans, but it also makes it so people with that sensitivity can still eat that meat, because that cell surface, thing, that alpha gal that makes people sick, it's completely absent. So
that's amazing.
But yeah, I can definitely understand being scared, because some of the reactions I've heard people have, I mean, they're, full on anaphylactic shock and in the hospital, and I would be scared to try it too.
Of course.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, another thing I was interested in talking about, Courtney, with that video, you're kind of talking about the Charlotte show.
Yeah.
What was there anything interesting that you saw or learned at the Charlotte show, or how was it the same or different from the last one?
So the last one was kind of tricky because of the timing of it. It was like the second show that they had that Nick and Troy had put on. So they had only done Denver, and then they came to Charlotte. And we always vend the local Charlotte stuff because we're so close and we have like family in the area. So they had announced the Charlotte show around the same time as Bob Vu had announced the Southeast show in Atlanta. And so it was Southeast and that like Reptilian Nation stuff was going on the weekend before All American, and then there was All American. So a lot of people who may have traveled in for a show chose Southeast because of the controversy, because of who they like want, you know, because of who they saw going to which show, all that. So we were worried that the Charlotte show in September would have like less foot traffic because of that. And so we, you know, time of year also has something to do with it. So September, we have a lot more hatchlings. We have a lot more babies to bring to a show. So I feel like everyone in April, they kind of sold everything cool at Tinley or stuff like that. So it was kind of a lighter show, but everyone I talked to, they did like everybody was selling things. There were people buying things, and depending on what you had, like definitely things were selling. And it was really cool to see all the different species that were going, because they try really hard to have like a lot of species at that show. There's just not a whole lot locally outside of just, you know, geckos and snakes. But a lot of plants went. I don't know how interested people are in plants, but the people beside us did like $2,400 just in their plant sales.
Ooh, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of plants. Everyone was carrying plants. We had a couple on our table because they were, my mom had propagated them, and she was, you know, she potted them and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know anything about plants. I just had the care sheets my mom printed out, and I sold 5 plants, you know.
Hey,
that's good.
So it was definitely like, it was the right kind of traffic at the show. But there were a lot, you know, it's a big venue and a lot of vendors. So as a vendor, we did fine. Like we did good. I would go again, especially because it's so close. And it was a cool experience to be able to walk around and like see different things. I don't know what everything's called, and I don't want to like sound like an idiot, but there's some cool like blue monitors or lizard. I don't know. There's some cool blue stuff. They were electric blue.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I could be completely wrong too. If
Probably a tree monitor if it was a monitor.
Blue tree monitor is I think what it was. Electric blue tree. The males were blue, but the females were not blue. And that was really cool. Yeah, so there was some of that. Again, I'm not good with species, and I get kind of roasted on that.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's a sand boa. And like, that's a rosy boa. Okay.
Like these pretty guys,
yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what it was like. But it was small. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's
those are small.
Yeah. Okay, they are. Okay. Well,
that's a baby. Yeah. I kept those. I kept those like back in the 90s.
They are pretty.
The greens and the blues. They also have yellows now, I think, right?
Ooh.
They're really
That's
pretty.
extremely cool.
Day gecko. Steven's right. It was a day gecko.
It was a gecko instead.
Gecko.
That's okay. We got to see blue monitors too. So that's
I
like
just
blue monitors.
I love monitors.
Same. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, there were a lot of cool sand boas at the show too.
Awesome.
They may have been rosy boas. I don't know.
That's okay.
They do have a similar shape to them.
They look like worms with eyes.
I do snakes. If it has legs, I have no idea.
No. I've run the whole gamut, so I've gone from monitors to venomous to all kinds of colubrids and everything else.
Oh yeah.
So of the ones that you kept in the past, Tommy, what's the one you missed the most that you don't have anymore?
I miss all of my European vipers, honestly. Those are my favorite venomous. I don't know why, because they're not the flashiest, but they are definitely like the most display friendly, I feel like. Like they tend to be out and about. They're not they don't run and hide when you go away, go by. They hang out in different places. You can set them up really cool with, like rock ledges and stuff, and they'll utilize them. Whereas like a lot of my heavier bodied, like my rattlesnakes and stuff, like they wouldn't use as much of the space in the aquarium and things like that. So
That's awesome. And so it was like more like their personalities and just out and aboutness that you like to have.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean that you kind of have to, like, at least for me, like people are like, well, why do you keep venomous snakes? I'm like, well, I mean, to me, it's no different than keeping fish. Like I like to
Yeah.
watch them. You know, like I don't have to hold it to like it. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So the ones that were like more display friendly, definitely, I kind of gravitated more towards them, especially towards the end.
For
Makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
The
Courtney's gonna
interactions
beat you
going
when
on
she
in the
gets off this
YouTube
mic.
comments.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Grandma,
but
This
my-
is Courtney
something
Woolies
changed.
Sandbowies.
Something changed. I can't see like the YouTube and Facebook comments anymore on my phone. I used
Oh,
to be able
no.
to see them as they were popping up, but now there's like all this other stuff there. So you have to pop some of them up. I'm missing those. I can see the ones on Instagram.
Yeah.
they gave Steven a little bit of attention in the comments, and so now he's showing off and trying to roast me.
I understand. It eggs him on, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I mean,
entertaining, at least.
it could be true.
it
It
is
could be
true.
true. You
It's
could
all-
actually be a bully Sandboas.
I
could
do. I
see
call
it.
them worms with eyes, and then if I don't like another, if like a Kenyan salmon, I call it a worm with eyes, and then I said that they have stupid eyes, and then
Oh, they
any-
kind of do. It's part of their charm.
and all the Samboas look like that. And then for when a long time ago, because I read a lot more than I talk, I guess I thought colubrids were pronounced color birds.
Color birds.
Color breads.
Color birds.
That was really
okay.
embarrassing.
I've done worse than that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Samboas are. Thanks, Isaac. I got a little bit of backup in the comments.
Yeah, I've only ever kept one sandboa, and I yoinked it across the room by accident because I was like trying to clean it, and it bit me, and I was like, "Woo!" and it just like flew off my finger.
Yeah.
Like,
Poor
It's
baby.
amazing how tough they are.
I know he was fine. He was fine. I was very worried.
Yeah.
I didn't yeet him on purpose, but he was stuck to my finger. You know, so this is
Yeah,
probably
I
because
did
of his
it.
dumb eyes.
yeah.
You did that too.
I mean, something happened with one of my baby rat snakes, like when I still live with my ex. You know, I was
Mhm.
like, look, you know, look at Chickadee, she's perfect. And you know, he was like, oh, hello, offered a finger. She just chopped right on, and he,
Chomped it.
woo, same thing. She went flying.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
they fly pretty far.
They
Yeah.
they
They
do.
leave-
It's so sad. She's fine now, but well, and was fine then, honestly. A little confused, but I'm
Yeah.
convinced that snakes just. I'm convinced that most snakes don't have a terminal velocity at this point. 'Cause, great sound effects too. Is I will be walking around outside and I will see a rat snake fall 30 foot from a tree, and of course I'm
Oh,
booking
yeah.
it to go and get it because, you know, herping. But
Yeah.
then it'll
Yeah.
be gone. They're like, oh
Yeah.
nope, I'm out. It's good.
I'm good.
I'm out. Yeah.
Luckily, the mice and rats, they have a minute of shock, so you can scoop them back up. And
Exactly. Yeah.
And every second a rodent is out of a cage, it like learns.
I'm like diving onto the ground, like I've got
You don't get 'em-
scrapes on the elbows.
Mhm.
They learn so
Immediately.
fast. I had one loose. We had like some in a garage that was attached to our house, and I had one loose probably for a good 2 or 3 months. And he like learned how to avoid traps and how to. When he would hear me move, he would jump through a wall and move to the part where I couldn't get to him. And like it took me a long time to get. He had learned so well how to avoid me and sneak in and jack food when I wasn't in there. And they're
That's
smart.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's no flattering way to catch a rat that's just dropped to the floor. Like there's no way to do that in a cool
Yeah.
way. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Go fast.
Go.
And that's why it's good to have toe covered shoes on so you can step on their tail or something.
Get 'em.
Yeah.
Snatch them up. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the worst is because like I do a lot of rats and I don't mind like little nibbles because they usually do the little nibbles, but it's something about them being on the ground that if I catch them, because I usually try to get like my hands over top of them, as much space as I can cover. And then when I get like a little nibble like that, I'll like sometimes yank my hands back and then they're gone again. Dang it. Why did I do like I get nibbled on all the time? Why did I don't know. The hoppers. Ugh.
Yes. Yeah, no, the hoppers. I understand why they have that name.
Yeah.
Hopper mice, like they're so delicate. I don't want to hurt them, but also like, like the cupped hand slap.
Mhm.
You know.
Steven has a 100% success rate on catching escaped rodents by calling me.
That's what it says.
He caught one time, and he finally caught it by like putting an upside down enclosure over top of it and then calling me to come get it.
Yeah.
Or wait, sorry, no. He left it there for a while because he knew that I would make fun of him if he had to call me. So he like slid something under it, and it took him like 2 hours to get.
Oh.
We're so he's doing so.
My favorite brave husband story was one of my good friends when I was an undergrad, and he would always yell if he saw a spider and have his wife come get it. But one time she wasn't there, and that he saw a spider. Is like, so how did you handle it? He's like, I got the vacuum. That way he could stay like 3 feet away.
Oh no!
Oh, it works, but poor spider.
Yeah. Not everyone can handle everything. For whatever reason, I just always liked creepy crawly stuff. I don't mind spiders at all. The first tarantula I saw, we were road cruising in Arizona. I was doing research on rattlesnakes in Arizona as part of my undergrad. And the first night we were road cruising at night, and we shined, and there's a tarantula crossing the road. So I jumped out, picked it up, put it on my face, and had my friend take a picture. Like, that was my immediate reaction.
Awesome.
How I am.
I love it.
I also realized how weird I was when I was in a biology lab as a college student, and they did a lab on I guess it was like an experiment to see if roaches would like to go in the light or in the dark. So we got these giant roaches, and we had to put them in this grid, and then part of it was shaded and part of it wasn't. And we were supposed to collect data and do statistics and see if they, gravitate towards the light or the shade or whatever. But it just surprised me how many people just did not even want to look at a roach. And they don't bother. Especially a big one. Like, what's it gonna do?
Oh, that's so much worse. Oh,
doesn't bother me. If it was smaller, I'd be more annoyed because, like, I don't know where it's gonna go. Like, I don't want it to get stuck in my ear or something. But if it's big,
okay.
Yeah.
Like millipedes and roaches, those are my no-nos.
Yeah.
Oh, I like millipedes. They're nice. Okay, centipedes, I understand. Especially the big boys.
Let me include Milla and Senta together here.
Okay, fair enough. Any of those guys. Millipedes, I can vibe with. We found a massive one in our groundhog enclosure at the wildlife center. And I mean by massive, I mean like an American millipede, like this big, 4 inches long, and lots of many legs, of course, but they're vegetarian. They don't bite. They're just little guys, and he had like little beads of like poison coming out of his little like neck glands.
Oh, that's
which was weird. That's it. Yeah.
Sorry, when I see someone with little beads of poison coming out of their neck, I tend to avoid them.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm out catching toads and stuff. I'm like, similar vibe. If I die, I die. It's okay.
There you go. Yeah. At least I died catching a millipede.
Exactly.
That same trip in Arizona when we were doing research, we would see Colorado river toads, and those are the ones, if you lick them, then you get hallucinogenic. Like,
oh, no.
I got close. I almost decided to try it. There's other researchers there that had done it before. They're like, dude, it tastes so gross. Like, just make sure you have something to drink right after because it tastes so nasty. And I never ended up doing it, but yeah, that was trippy, holding a toad, knowing like if you lick this, you're gonna like trip hard.
That's so weird. And the fact that you have other researchers, plural, there who would, who had done it too. And I mean, I might, if I had a dedicated trip sitter and I wasn't the driver, maybe.
They were pretty common in the hobby for a while. The cane toads were.
Oh yeah.
You can get toads. Yeah.
Canes, yeah. I think cane toads, they're different.
Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in a different one.
I think that it depends on what they're eating. I think it's like.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think
it's
like
the dart frogs eating the ants. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, definitely the Colorado river toads are in the U.S. And if you catch those live ones, you know, where they,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you can definitely get it. But yeah, I'll have to actually look that up with cane toads. That was actually my very first scientific publication was on cane toads and their
Okay.
biogeographic distribution in South America. Yeah, so I have nerded
Yep.
out on cane toads. There's some crazy videos of them taking over stuff in Australia. That's a
Yes.
sad story of introduction.
Mhm.
I've seen people making like, you know, because people will catch invasives out in Australia. I've seen people making like teeny tiny, like little mini backpacks out of them, and is it bad that I kind of want one?
Like a
'Cause-
A
taxidermy.
backpack?
Yeah, like taxidermied, like cane toad turned into a little backpack.
Oh wow.
I don't
I-
think that's a bad thing. I have a not a sugar glider. I have like an otter that I found on the side of the road and a flying squirrel in my freezer right now, waiting for me to do stuff to them. So I'm not
you
the person
do.
to ask.
I've had weird stuff in my
yeah.
freezer too. It's okay.
Yeah.
So is
Like-
it recognizable that it's a frog? Like other people?
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
frog.
Okay, now I gotta look this up.
Now
Cane
she's
toad.
like, I need a tiny backpack. It's like isn't
Yeah.
it like a coin purse or a backpack? A backpack? I thought it was a coin purse.
I think it might be a coin purse. Yeah, there we go. Purse, shoulder bag. Oh wait, actually, I gotta make sure you guys can see it. There we go. Isn't he beautiful?
He's
Oh,
something.
look at him. He's a handbag.
Oof,
Look at him.
Isn't he pretty?
that would be
Isn't
interesting.
he lovely?
I know. Look
Tomato
at
frogs.
him. He does look tomato froggy. Like, look at those big old glands. Mm.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Thank you for humoring me.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm not the
That's
person
fair.
though. Like I said,
I
Oh,
get
yeah,
them
no,
from
no.
my sister. I buy her anytime we're at a show and there's like a cool taxidermied place of like a rodeo frog or something weird. The weirdest thing I can find, I usually buy to bring home for my sister. And I say, "Thank you for house sitting. Here is something you don't want."
That's fair. Yeah. Oh, speaking of catching weird things, I finally got my lifer northern racer on Tuesday.
Nice.
And he did what racers do.
Ah,
bit the crap out of you and then pooped on you.
ah,
Yep, there it is.
There we go.
okay. Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
damn, okay.
I love him.
Every racer that I've ever picked up has bitten me for sure, multiple
Oh,
times
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, and the crazy part was, I wasn't even the one that initially caught him. So for context,
Yeah.
and also explaining the gloves, because normally I'm just like barehanded herping, but so one of my coworkers who mostly does turtle, like box turtle rehabilitation, was out doing a cadaver search, as one does, and she came across a site where there was a rat snake sick with snake fungal disease. So there was that, and she wasn't able to
Yeah.
like stick it in her backpack at the time, so she found that, and also a barn that had like a hayloft filled with rat snakes. So she
Mhm,
called
of
me and she was like, "So I'm here. I found these. This rat snake maybe needs help and might still be there if you show up. So I'm going to give you that information, and then I'm going to let you do what you're going to do." And so naturally, I showed up.
Yeah.
And we didn't find that particular sick rat snake, but we did find. Well, my friend found this insanely. Oh, hang on. Let me remove that. Please show the thing I want to show. Technical difficulties. Give me a minute. Life is hard, y'all. Here we go. I can do this. I believe in myself. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Yeah, no, I have to remove it and then. Nope. Why is life so hard? There we go. Yes, we found this extremely handsome racer. Like, I've never seen a more photogenic wild snake in my life.
That's beautiful.
Right? Isn't he pretty? Oh, and my friend who had never grabbed a wild snake in his life thought it was a rat snake and was like, "Oh, there's one," while I was up in the hayloft. And I said, "Oh, grab it." So he does, walks up to me, and it's just this big old adult male racer. And I was like, "Dude, your first snake you've ever caught while herping is a racer. That's amazing." So we got him. And he had a little nub tail that healed up great. Got a picture of him in situ underneath the barn. And then found a couple of other rat snakes. This is a female we got under like some tin roofing that had fallen. And there was a big male who I didn't get a picture of, who actually did have some signs of snake fungal disease, so we took him in for treatment. But yeah, no, it was it was a good day, and I got my lifer. I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten out and done any herping for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I mean that's understandable if you're dealing with stuff, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Oh, also found a skeletonized fox, which was cool. If you're into that. That's sort of thing.
I'm definitely into that.
Right. I almost took the skull for, for me to have and be like, I have a fox skull. But sadly, as soon as I started seeing snakes, it was just out of my mind. And forgot.
That really looks more dog than fox, though.
It kind of does. If you look at the claws, like you can kind of see like those, like it does look doggish, but
it looks
usually
very
they have
dog.
More, yeah.
The dentation, especially in the front, looks more dog. I have a bunch of fox skulls.
Ooh, oh, maybe it is.
I have a bunch of skulls all over my house. I'm just they nicknamed me Tommy Dahmer because I like dead things. So
I do too. Actually, I don't know if you can see, like next to my head right there, I actually have a deer skull, and up there I've got like, oh my gosh, oh, what you got?
This is a raccoon.
Raccoon? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
awesome.
There's the top of a deer skull right there too.
Awesome.
I'm gonna start me dead things.
What's that?
Well, I feel like anytime somebody like mentions that they like collect something, like, oh yeah, I really like to get thimbles when I go out, whatever. People start just bringing them, so Tommy's just gonna get more and more dead stuff now.
I love more and more dead stuff. Send it my way. Yeah. I'll DM you my address.
There you go.
I won't mail it. I don't know how mailable some of this is.
Yeah.
My daughter, who's in high school, she's always loved skeletons. Like as far back, like she couldn't even like really talk yet. And my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are both radiology technicians, and so they had like a practice skeleton house. She just loved that thing.
Yeah.
And,
fun.
Skip forward, 10, 15 years. Now she's 15, and we actually found a website where you can order all kinds of stuff. Like we actually are going to do some dissections. They have like organs. They even have preserved whole their garter snakes. But anyway, so she's pretty excited about that. But all the skeletons they have too. They have several. They have non-venomous and venomous snake, and they've got cat, bat, and all this stuff.
That's cool.
You can get all that stuff from one spot.
There you go, winning. I normally find all my stuff when I'm out, like hunting mushrooms and stuff like that. So
that makes sense. I've gotten to see some really cool stuff at the wildlife center. Like we were doing, like one of our vets was doing a necropsy on like a woodpecker, and we were actually able to see like how the tongue of a woodpecker actually wraps like down, like
up
down
around
between,
in the head.
Yeah, and around the head. And you can actually like we were able to like. This is morbid. We were able to like pull and push the tongue and see it like tense and then go back in against the skull.
Yeah.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Like they have their own built-in like helmet, basically. I think that, or like it's like a sling.
It's not only the ball pythons we have in common, then it seems. It's our hatred for centipedes, except for you. And and for sand boas.
Yeah.
Cow pie mushrooms.
I'm gonna have to get a sand boa, I think.
I think so.
I'm gonna get you a sand boa.
They are cool.
John apparently sent some pictures to the RGI Instagram. Unless you need to send them. Yeah, if you want to send them, John, for like, is it like a sample?
From the animals?
Unfortunately, I can't pull them up because I'm doing the live, so I can't pull them up. I don't know if you have access to that, Kayla.
Here, if you want to send them to this email, yeah.
But Tommy, I was looking up the cane toad stuff, and yeah, you're right. It's the same toxin in both species, and it isn't a secondary chemical. They do produce it in captivity too. I didn't know that. So people were keeping cane toads as pets, and then also it talks about a way to dry the toxin and be able to smoke it as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were super common in the hobby back, and I had some, and that's why I knew. And we're gonna just leave it at that. I wasn't gonna argue.
Steven's next video on fads is gonna be all about cane toads.
Exactly. Like everybody's logging out right now, like looking at cane toad imports, like
Well, just
cane
be careful.
toad tadpoles.
Cane toads are taking over lots of things, so if you're gonna get
enjoy your cane toads responsibly,
please.
Yeah,
I 666 serpents.
I totally thought it was a secondary chemical. They had to be getting it from the environment, but not the bufotoxin in those two species.
Nope.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let me write that down. What was that called?
Bufotoxin, cane toad. You know. Yeah.
There was a researcher that I worked with. He's probably retired by now. He was probably close to 80 when I was working with him like 20 years ago, but he studied salamanders and in South America, and he was always interested why some snakes the snakes there would eat some salamanders but not others. And while he was an undergrad, and his brain I think hadn't completely formed yet, so he's in random places in South America, and his thought is, well, maybe they taste bad, so he just started
I'll taste the salamanders.
That's not safe. Later on in his journey, he worked in the Pacific Northwest, where the salamanders there have tetrodotoxin, and they'll kill you if you lick them. Thankfully, that wasn't until later in his career. But yeah, he said that he did actually find one salamander in South America that you would get a similar hallucinogenic effect.
Oh, wow.
He didn't actually ever publish about it because he didn't want people going down there to find them
and licking them.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You never know what you're gonna lick.
Funny.
Do not lick the wildlife.
Please do not the wildlife.
I met a scorpion.
Do not the wildlife.
Yeah. I met a scorpion researcher. He was young, 22, 23. I think he was a grad student by that point, but he would go to other countries. And, that was his thing. Every scorpion, every new species, he would have them sting him, and he'd gotten messed up. He told me about some, like for a week and a half, like it felt like nerve damage. His arm wouldn't work quite right. I'm like, dude, like, stop doing that.
My brother in Christ. Please do not.
But to him, like, his personal nerding out, like, that was part of it. Like, he wanted to know what it would do to him. And from like a science point, that's a sample size of one, like, you know.
Yeah.
Not really telling you what affects
you.
Only tells you how.
Without young males, there's probably a lot of things we wouldn't have found out.
You're probably
like,
and some of it we don't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Who was the first person to get an onion out of the ground and cut into it, and their eyes are watering? They're like, "Oh, I should try eating this."
It was a man. It was a man. I'm just telling you. If it sounds like a bad idea and it still happened, it was a man. I guarantee.
It's like
it's not a bad thing. I'm appreciative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like onions.
Yeah.
I'm super sorry.
Why women live like
I have to jump off. I have to run and grab my daughter.
Yeah, no
sorry about that. But
thank you for joining us, Courtney.
No problem. Take care.
That's funny. Yeah. It's like the edible version of like the courtesy sniff. It's like, oh God, this is awful. Dude, smell this. You know, like it's like
exactly. Exactly. I would have not done it. That's funny.
Yeah.
They want to know if anybody's going to the Midwest reptile show. Are you guys going?
Where's that one at?
Indianapolis. Oh, it's next week. Next week. You would definitely know if you were going.
That's fair.
No, we will be going to Indiana. Is it September?
September for Colubrid Fest. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there. Both Kayla and I will be there for that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like shows and things lined up for the rest of the year?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think there's one going on. Well, Dallas already happened. We did that. Or John did
Okay.
that. And then I know we have one or two in October. Tinley, of course. And I'm thinking there's at least one more.
I'm going to Pomona in June.
Pomona. Yep, that's the one I'm thinking of. That's not October.
There's something in July also. Trying to remember.
Busy year.
Yeah, I pretty much have, like, this month I'm going to Texas. Next month I'm actually going on a trip with my family. And then June is Pomona. July, I can't remember right now. August, I'll be at I will be at Daytona Beach. So I'll be at that one. And then September's Kluberg Fest. And then October I'll be at Tinley.
Oh, guys. Okay.
What do you got?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I got to show you this. A racer that John of
Schomburg is
Black
in
Rock
July.
Falls. There we go. Look at this racer picture.
I love his little eyes. I love his eyes.
They have such
so
big
cute.
old peepers. Oh my gosh.
They're such jerks, but they're so cool.
Right. It kind of endears them to me. My dad always told me and my mom that, like, we like old grumpy things, and I think that's why I'm always drawn to the spicy creatures.
Yeah.
But,
That's
look
fair.
at that face. Oh my gosh, thank you for
I
sending me that.
love that picture. That's a really cute picture.
It's so
like
good.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing what racers have done. Like, they're pretty much across the whole U.S.
They're everywhere. Yeah, I see them all the time here.
Kluber, yeah. Lots of racers everywhere. That's pretty amazing.
For sure.
Looks like they said Schomburg's in July.
What's that?
Schomburg, is that the one you're going to?
I don't think I am.
Oh, gotcha.
Sean, I think, might be going to Schomburg.
I think so, yeah. That sounds right.
Schomburg.
Chris Tier sent an email. So he is apparently sending us a shed for this guy. Cinnamon Confusion, Zuwadi, 50% head lav.
Good.
Awesome. If it's hopefully it'll be one that we can do that we can give you the results for live next week. That'll be fun.
Well,
what are we looking for in that one?
That one's gonna be for research.
Oh,
I was about to say.
Is it for research? Oh, okay, got you. My bad. I thought it was for lavender albino.
Yeah, so Zuwadi, I don't remember getting any. There probably is, one or two somewhere, but yeah, we would need several more to make progress on that.
That's fair.
You also might want to look into the pairing because that also looks calico.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I could see, yeah.
Just as an aside. Yeah, that definitely looks calico. No question.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It could be the interaction between the cinnamon and the Zuwadi also, because Zuwadi is a pattern mutation. So
yeah.
But it definitely has a calico look to it. Not that that's a bad thing because calico is awesome, but if you look at pairing calicos in it, there's a good chance that it's calico.
Fair enough.
Very cool.
You caught a racer once thinking it was a rat snake pre-reptile days. It'll tell you real quick.
You'll learn, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it biting you at like Mach 5? It's a racer.
Yeah. Last fall I had like a 4-month cough, and apparently the coughing in this one bruised rib finally gave, and I either broke a rib or tore my rib meat. It was great. But the day after I did that, I was like, well, I'm in pain, but I can either be in pain at home or be in pain at work. So I went to work at the Wildlife Center. And that day, one of my coworkers popped in and said, Kayla, there's a rat snake outside. And I said, and so naturally, despite the fact that I was dying of pain every time I breathed, the pain was gone. I said, rat snake. I walked outside and I saw that little pinkish nose and I knew it was a racer. 4 foot long, massive, biggest racer I've ever seen. And he took off. And so I chased after him full tilt. He ran up under the shed, and despite my possibly broken rib, I was like on the ground trying to get him. He eventually got away, so he was not my lifer. But yeah, no, so fast, like unreal.
They're lightning fast for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then
also-
not only did you miss them, but then you had all the pain set back in.
Yep. As soon as I got back inside, I was like, man, I almost got that racer. Oh, there's my rib. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
I got better.
That's funny.
What are the other fast ones on the West Coast? Whip something.
Coach Whips.
Coach
Yeah,
Whips.
Coach Whips.
Yes.
So I had
Oh,
my
yeah.
hand on the tail of one. We knew one went under a rock. I think this was in either southern Utah or Arizona, but we knew it went under the rock. And so my friend pulled the rock and I just blindly just grabbed as fast as I could.
Yeah.
But all I got was the end of the tail and it slipped my hand and took off. Those suckers are fast too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pink ones?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're pretty.
Oh,
They're beautiful.
So good.
And the
Right.
red ones, the pink ones and the red ones are very beautiful.
Mhm.
I don't think they
Little-
do well in captivity, though. I think that I've seen a couple people keeping them, but I think they're kind of like they need a lot of space, and I think that they're kind of akin to like water dragons and sailfins and stuff, where they get a lot of nose rub and stuff like that because they're constantly searching to get out. So
That makes sense.
yeah,
That thing was lightning.
yeah,
I
they're
believe
crazy
it.
bad.
Oh, these
Yeah.
red
Yeah,
ones.
there's one.
Crazy.
Oh.
So beautiful, so beautiful,
Unreal.
insane. Yeah, they're amazing.
Like we just have those out west. Like that's
They're
that's unreal.
just there.
They're just
Some of
out
them
there.
Some of the
They're-
collars
and not being licked. Collared lizards, they're beautiful too.
Yes.
What did you say? Something what?
I said they're out there, and then I said, and nobody's licking them. I was just
And
Oh,
nobody's
saying.
licking them.
Yes,
They
they're
bite.
safe. Some guy tried it and found out nothing happened. So
It was fine. He's like, nah, those aren't worth licking. They're too fast and they bite.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those
Oh.
collared lizards are amazing too out
Hi,
west.
Xander.
The leopards don't have a lot of flashy colors, but I loved seeing the leopard lizards. Those are really pretty
Yeah.
too.
They're really
Yeah.
fun.
They're cool.
I like all that stuff out there for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And chuckwallas, they just look like they're from Star Wars. They're such weird.
Yeah.
It's so cool that they're in the United States.
Right.
Yeah, I really like chuckwallas. They're really cool. There's just so much stuff that I think that that if you don't get out there and do any field herping or really look into it, you're missing out on a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And we were walking through the Sonoran Desert Museum, and I was walking next to Dave Barker. So that was pretty cool, hanging out with Dave.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I was walking next to Dave. We're walking through the Sonoran Desert Museum, and this woman behind us is like, seriously? Like, I know you guys have done a lot of herping, but you're just going to walk past a Gila monster? Like, what? And like, it would literally like less than a foot from where we just walked. There's a Gila just sitting there. I was
Oh,
like,
geez.
What?
that is so
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I got to experience that with Dave, and they do pit
That's
tag.
really cool.
So we got to find out if it was one that they had already pit tagged before. And yeah, it
Oh,
was-
that's
it-
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, Gila's
That's
are really
awesome.
fun too.
If you can make it out, it's worth doing. And those of you
Oh,
that
yeah.
live on the West Coast that get to, go out and see that in your backyard, that's something you should appreciate. And the
Mhm.
other thing
For
that
sure.
always blows my mind too is that we have rattlesnakes. Like very few
Yes.
parts of the world have rattlesnakes. We have them in the
Yeah.
United States and
Right?
the
Yeah.
American. That's pretty cool. We don't get to have the mambas and the cobras, but we have rattlesnakes. In
I'm
there.
glad I don't want mambas or cobras. I didn't even
No.
like keeping that stuff when I kept venomous. I was like, yeah, no, thank you. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't know. I just am not interested in them at all. Honestly.
Yeah.
But-
They're scary to me. I've
Yeah.
enough rattlesnakes that I feel pretty comfortable handling them, but
Mhm.
the mambas especially, I don't want to mess with that. Terry Phillip from Reptile Gardens, he was telling me about what it's like getting wild mambas in. He said he just gets a hook in each hand, opens it carefully, and then he said it's like a fencing match until they get tired, and then he puts them in.
Yeah.
Like,
I got.
Yeah.
I used to do some importing from Africa back when I was doing a lot of venomous, and I would get mambas in, and it was in taipans. Taipans, no thank you. Mambas, no thank you.
yeah, I've seen a
Death
taipan-
adders, or I like death adders though. Death
Yeah.
adders are badass.
They're really cool.
That's a
What a-
fat enough elapid that we can handle that. That's
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
most viper looking elapid.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta run off, guys. I've got
Yeah.
an appointment coming up.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Well, thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, no problem.
It was
Yeah,
No
fun.
problem, guys.
Never,
Take care.
never know what topics are
Yeah.
going to come up.
Right.
Exactly. Take care, guys.
Bye,
Yeah.
Tommy. I guess it is about time for us to head out to, or has been technically for 20 minutes, but I was having fun, so you know. All right. Well, I guess we'll head off here. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next Tuesday and next Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Yeah. Well, Thursday for the live streams, Tuesday for the
Thursday.
normal episodes. But all right.
See you both.
Yes. All right. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.